Hello my friends, today I will be showing you how to make your own homemade jalapeno pepper powder. So I went out into my garden and I picked some jalapenos, which I have here. Now I am doing this on a smaller scale today just to show you guys the technique, but typically when I do this I'm working with several pounds of peppers. So we are just going to give these peppers a chop. We're going to make them into nice thin slices. It really doesn't matter how you slice them, but I am cutting them nice and small so that they dry out quicker. But technically you could put the whole pepper in the dehydrator. It would just take a little bit longer for them to dry out. And I should probably mention that you may want to use gloves when cutting the peppers, especially when you're working with so many of them, if you are sensitive to the capsaicin, which is what makes the peppers spicy. Once you get this technique down, you will be able to make several different powders. This is how paprika is made, garlic powder, pretty much everything that you have that is a powder in your spice cabinet. And around here, garlic powder is pretty darn expensive. So it is actually cheaper for you to just purchase the garlic cloves nice and fresh, dehydrate them, and make your own homemade garlic powder. And this would also be fantastic with things like habaneros if you want a really hot spicy powder. I would do habaneros today, but my habaneros aren't ready to be harvested just yet. Okay, so I've gotten all of my slices onto the dehydrator trays. Those 6 peppers took almost 2 trays in the dehydrator, and you will have some of the seeds fall to the bottom of the dehydrator, but no worries, they will dehydrate just fine. You definitely do not want to discard the seeds because that is where the heat is in the peppers. So I'm just going to put the top on here and plug her up. And we are going to let this go for about 3 to 4 hours for the slices like this. If you're using the whole peppers, it could take up to 12 hours for them to dehydrate. You really just have to keep checking on them, and it depends on your dehydrator. I highly recommend getting a dehydrator. This one was fairly cheap. I got it on Amazon for I think maybe $35 to $40, but it is well worth it because I use it to dehydrate all of my herbs. Otherwise they would just go to waste because there's an abundance of them. And also you can make several other things in here like beef jerky, and you can also make fruit leather, also known as fruit roll-ups. So the possibilities are endless and you end up saving a lot of money over time. So I highly recommend that you get yourself one. So I will see you guys in about 3 to 4 hours, and then we will begin to grind these up. Alright guys, we are back, and that actually only took about an hour since I am doing such a small amount. So at this point we can turn off our dehydrator and we are ready to make our powder. So what you will need is a coffee grinder. You can just get any cheap coffee grinder. You can get them on Amazon. There were 2 on Amazon that I was eyeballing. One of them was $9.99 and one of them was $19.99, I believe, at the time I bought it. This one is the one that is $19.99, but really any coffee grinder will do. So you just want to take all of your pieces here and put them straight into your coffee grinder. Alright, here I have a decent amount to start, so I'm just going to put the top on. And this little guy is very powerful, so it really only takes a few pulses to get the powder. Alright, we are all ground up, so at this point we are just going to turn our coffee grinder upside down and give it a few taps so that the powder falls into the collector cup. And you want to give it a moment before you open it. You don't want to rush and open it immediately after grinding because there will be a cloud of jalapeno powder all over the place. And I have made this mistake before and ended up inhaling this powder and it was not pretty. So let's go ahead and open it. And look at that. There you have it, a nice and fine jalapeno powder. And you can actually grind this a little bit more coarse if you want something like crushed pepper flakes, if you don't want to actually make a powder. You can also mix this with some salt to make a jalapeno salt. So I am just going to go ahead and finish this up and then I will put it in a shaker. Okay guys, I am on my last batch and you can see that there is a lot of sediment at the bottom, which are the seeds. So I am definitely going to collect all of these and put them into the coffee grinder. If you are a coffee drinker like myself and you like to grind your own coffee, you may want to invest in getting 2 of the coffee grinders because coffee tends to leave an oil behind and that will affect your herbs and spices. And also vice versa, you don't want to end up with a spicy coffee. Or maybe you do, now that I say it, it actually sounds like it could be good. But anyway, we're just going to get all these seeds in here and finish this grind. And then I will show you the final amount. Okay, we are all done. And what I like to use is just a regular shaker. So I'm just going to add this last bit in here. And it's a little bit darker that time because of the seeds. But here we go. You can see that's how much I got out of 6 jalapenos. So that actually isn't bad. I wasn't planning to get too much out of it anyway, but that's enough for a few good shakes on a meal. So there you have it. Enjoy.